Hello Scrap Names fans, how are we all? So I'm doing a different video today for my Arty Fun Friday. I've decided to try and do some DIY embellishments with a slight twist. I want to do them a bit mixed media-y. So I'm using my little diamond press die cut machine there to create some of these. Now I go through and only do a couple. Just because I didn't want the process to be too long-winded for you. Now, as you can see, the folders and everything from the die press, they're not huge, but you know what, you can make them work. So what I'm using on this one, I think this one was the little embossing folders, which you can see to my right there. There's a heart one and like a bumpy one, this one. So it leaves that textured bump sort of pattern on it. And then I'm just going to use my Distress Oxides with a ink blending tool, just to smoosh some of that pink onto all around on this piece of cardstock. Now that's just normal white cardstock. I haven't gessoed it or anything like that. I didn't need to. I'm not using a wet media. I'm just going to use the oxides. But yeah, as I said, is this my first attempt at DIY embellishments? No, I kind of made tags, I think, one other week. But I really wanted to get in and use my diamond press. It's sitting there. I don't use it as much as I would have liked to. And I thought, I hadn't seen anyone do any embellishments with a bit of a mixed media twist. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. And if it doesn't work, well, so be it. I mean, you guys might see me do something and go, I don't know if I'll do that. Or you could have done this. Leave me a comment if you've got any suggestions, because by all means, I'm open to it. Yeah. So what I'm doing here, this is, as you can see, I just used, again, the diamond press to cut out like this little banner shape. And then I'm just going through some random embellishments that I have sitting around in my stash. So this one was one from Aldi, I think. And I don't use it, like these are the last little pieces in it, and they're really big for the most part, and I haven't had anywhere to use them. So those are the ones that I grabbed first because I want to use them up, and why not make them into a bit of an embellishment cluster or something just to get them used. So I'm playing around here with what I can do on this. I like this little banner piece. Hang on, let me have a look. I think I've got them sitting next to me, which will make it so much easier. I do. So just adding, I've punched out a little heart shape using some pattern paper, some random scraps. That's the other thing. I dive into my scrap drawer and I'm using up some scraps as well. So it's a bit of a use your stash kind of DIY embellishment video. I've just used my little tiny attacher. I just staple that on and onto the banner as well. So that both the banner and that heart are sitting on the tag. Yeah, your banner. Diving into my wood veneer because I thought it needed something else. And I do have in the back of my mind when I was doing this, I had watched, I think it's on Patreon. I don't think it's on Inky Quill's normal channel because I'm a patron there. And I think she did it and she had a bit of a whole, like a process she uses to put things on to create embellishments. And I was trying to remember what they were in the back of my head. And I remember there was like, she puts like a word sticker and something with dimension, and I think from memory. So I'm sort of trying to keep that in mind when I was making these. So I add the butterfly. I've added a butterfly little wood veneer just to add a sort of 3D effect to this piece. Now, I think I put, oh, actually now pulling it out, that sticker's come off. So these are some Amy Tan stickers that I'm just sticking on as well. Just for a bit of something different. I'm actually just playing with the tag of this piece as I'm talking to you. I've just discovered that this little sticker that I'm putting on is coming off. So I'm just going to glue it back on when I'm talking to you. I'm guessing it probably didn't stick on the oxide very well, the ink. So I think that's probably why it hasn't stuck down as well as I would have liked. So not all of these are going to be like a not all of these will be a mixed media thing, but my point was to try and use a bit of mixed media, to try and use my diamond press, and trying to use up some of my stash. So that was sort of 3 goals I had here, and just to do a different video for you. Instead of, I didn't have an idea or any mojo for an art journal page, and I wanted to do something, so I did this. This is what I went with. what am I doing here? All right, so this is a, oh, I don't know what is it called? I don't know what it's called, this little piece here. I can't think of it. But it was part of a whole 12 by 12 pattern paper. I think it was a Maggie Holmes collection, might be Chasing Dreams. I've never used that side of the pattern paper before. I've always cut these like little banners. I can't think of the word. Not a rosette either. Anyway, out, and that's what I did with this. It's got a little rose on it. I've added another little piece of that pink embossed cardstock I did previously, and then I'm just adding this one and some of these Tim Holtz little tiny word stickers. Now, this process may look really short. This video was super long. I sat here for ages. DIY embellishments are also something I'm not familiar with doing. So it took me a while to think about how how I was going to use them, if I used them in my layouts, making sure that they would fit my style and, things like that, and what I scrap. So it did take a little while to get it all together. And just do a border around this, just because I had a look when everything was sitting on here and stuck down. I just sort of thought this is sort of just floating around a little bit, like it needed some grounding, I thought, like with all the different elements on it. So I just thought this little doodly border did the perfect job, adds a little bit of minor detail, but yeah, sticks it all in place. So there's another one. In the end, I think actually I only make 4 on camera, just because, as I said, I didn't want it too long and too long-winded and boring for you. So yeah. All right. So this is from my stash, an old piece of pattern paper. I think it came in like a kit from like many months ago. So I really love these flowers, the black and white. So I sat and sort of thought about how I was going to do these. Whoops, not the camera, sorry. And I'm going to use this scalloped circle to cut out the piece. This is a flower, which you'll see in a second. So again, I'm using my diamond press. The only thing I regret, I guess, with the diamond press, just chatting about that for the moment, is that it is tiny. Now, it has its benefits. I can take it away on crops, scrap days, all the rest of it. It doesn't take a lot of storage space. However, if I want to get dies for it, they have to be small. I can't have your big fandangle ones, which is a bit of a disappointment sometimes because I've seen some that I really like. And because it's not a huge like the Sizzix one and things like that. Mine's blank as to exactly what it's called. So that is my only thing with this diamond press. And the dies can be quite expensive. But I am a scrapper at times on a budget, so yeah, all good. Now I'm playing around with this 4x6 die cut, not die cut, but ephemera piece. Again, it's part of that range that was just in that bag I said to you was left, random pieces left. Again, using it up. And, I could probably have left this without anything on it, but again, I'm trying to use up that stuff and just go with it. So I'm making a really nice, pretty card. Everything needs to link back to those or tie in with those flowers that are on the top right corner. And I'm just going to use my watercolors, no gesso added to this. So I was really conscious of not using a lot of water to get the color working. And I just used some different colors with my water brush just to add a little bit of color on that piece. Now going through my random box of embellishments or tub of embellishments there and just pulling out some things that will fit. And I do really like how this one turns out. It's not greatly mixed media, but I just wanted to show and give a go at whether or not I could make embellishments, or you can make embellishments with mixed media, and I'm sure that you can. I just wanted to give it a go, so why not? Now I am popping there some double-sided foam tape on that piece there that I'm sticking down, just to give it a little bit of dimension on the card, so not everything was sitting flat. I wanted, obviously pop up a little bit, Adds a bit of detail. And I don't know about anyone else, but the animal thing. Die cuts, animals. Like this, a swan. I can't say I would put that on even my girl layouts. I don't know if I would use it. Maybe I'm too much of a logical, literal scrapper. But yeah, I don't know. Anyone else find that tricky? The whole adding animals. Like, I mean, at the moment, if you have a look at all the new collections, there's llamas everywhere, and they're cute and it's great. And again, maybe it's the logical black and white side of me as such. But how would you use them? You know, would you do a layout with llamas to do with animals and llamas and maybe add that in? I don't know. I mean, the swan is elegant and pretty, and I suppose you could put that on, you know, a page where you're doing like a girly sort of page or something like that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't usually use, unless I'm scrapping about a particular animal, like we've got bunnies and things like that, so I've got die cuts of bunnies, so that makes sense, but a swan. Leave me a comment if you sort of find this a bit like odd, or if you're one of these people that are outside the box, probably more so than I am, and can use these on a layout somewhere, because I'd love to know, you know, how you alter them to fit in with what you are scrapping. So again, just using my diamond press to cut these two cute little hearts out. And these are teeny tiny hearts. All right, just using some of my little Tombow glue. All right, just adding a splash of gold Heidi shine just to add a little bit of, you know, bling to the page, tying with that gold piece at the back behind the flowers, and then that one is done. And I added that little phrase quote piece down the bottom. Sticker. Can't talk. My God. Now I think this is my fourth and last one. I had this paper in my stash. I wanted to use it up, but I don't think I end up doing that. No, I don't actually. So this time I decided to make another tag. Using up these big brown tags, I don't use a lot of these anymore in my crafting, only because I've got other tags to use. Just using this Katie Mix Media stencil to pop these on. Now my idea behind this was to make this a bit more of a masculine / all-purpose kind of tag. My other embellishments are very pinky and pretty, and you know, I could see being used in something like one of the girls' layouts or whatever. So I wanted something to balance that out with a bit of a boy kind of thing. So I have gone with adding this to it, which you'll see what I do in a second. Alright, so I am going to, as you can see, I'm using my watercolor just to color in those blocks there. Now, as I said, I wanted to make this a bit of a boy masculine kind of card, tag, embellishment, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going through this, I think it's crepe paper. Let me have a look. Yeah, crepe paper, Cool Kid. I really like this collection, actually. It's very cute. Just to have a look and see what I can put on there. So just having a look through all the different ephemera pieces here. See if I didn't want to go with anything see-through, like those acetate pieces, just because I just didn't think it'd suit. It wouldn't stand out or anything like that, so I just left it. So just rummaging through to see if there's something else. Now these are really, the only thing with this Cool Kid one is I find it's not suited for the age group I'm scrapping with my son. Now he's pre-teens, so I just didn't think it would work. So I'm going with those 2 pieces there, which, spoiler alert, yeah, that piece goes. Again, this is another die cut piece with a stamp that came in with the diamond press. And this little world piece had that hole in the top, and it fits perfectly over the little hole at the top there of the tag. So it suits it really good. I was really somewhat happy with the way this came out. At first I wasn't keen on it because I just didn't like the background at first. The colouring of it just didn't quite go the way I would like. But, you know, with everything in scrapbooking, as I've said, you can always make a mistake and you can always fix it. So whether that means that this will just tuck in behind something or, you know, whatever, it's all good. I'm just playing around with what I want on this tag. And I do stick with this white paper with the silver foil dots. Just because the white contrasts really well against that blue and the brown of the tag as well. Now I'm using my VersaFine ink on this just because it picks up the detail of the stamp a lot better than normal sort of like stays on ink. I don't know if I have to repeat it. Do I repeat the stamp? No, I leave it as it is. Alright, so the only thing here is I've got to match up the shapes around. So I'm going to cut where I've stamped, I'm cutting the camera out now using the diamond press. As you can see, I'm playing around with the position of it, making sure it sits pretty near to perfectly over the stamped image. Now the only thing I do find with this, and I had this out for a scrap day I was having, and one of my kids got to it, which was fine, except they didn't use it properly, and it has somewhat makes it now play up. I'm not sure what they did. They got stuff stuck in it, and yeah, so I have to be really careful. Hence why now I've got to cut out a little bit of the die cut image, because it doesn't always cut properly when it's really thick, which is a bit of a pain and a bit disappointing. But that's not to do, I don't think, with anything with the manufacturer of the diamond press. I think it's just user error, so it's just a bit of a bummer. So just going to pop that on. I think I popped that. Do I pop that on some foam tape? I think I do. Yes, I popped this camera on foam tape just to give it a bit more dimension off the tag, and just to give it sort of a layered sort of effect. So we've got that piece in the background, then we've got this little tag. Then I'm going to add some more pieces here. Again, I'm going to look for some phrase stickers, which I'm going to these Flutterby ones. So these are from Flutterby Designs. And I pick one from the orange sheet, one from the green sheet, and yeah. I sort of went with the whole see the world kind of, you know, you can do anything kind of theme, I guess, with this now, with the globe image and the camera. So yeah. Now this is my last piece, embellishment piece I do. Please leave me some feedback, or if there's something you'd like to see. I say this all the time, but if there's something you'd like, even something for me to try out, you're not too sure about trying it out, but you'd like someone else to do it to see if it works, I'm more than happy to see if I can give it a go, or if it's in my scope of abilities. What I'm thinking of doing as an extra bonus kind of video is, a lot of people ask me how I A, store my photos, and B, my albums. So I'm thinking of doing a quick little livey kind of video just to show you how I store my albums, how I organize my albums, and how, you know, my photos therefore to match that. So I will aim to do that probably over this weekend. It is Thursday, so I might get it done this afternoon, or probably get it done tomorrow, because then I'll have no one here, so it will be nice and quiet at home. So I might get it done then if I don't get it done now, and have that up in the next few days for you. But yeah, I had some organisation ideas, brainwaves, so I thought I would let you in on a bit of a organising secret. And definitely stay tuned for another bonus probably mixed, well, it would be mixed media. If you are a regular subscriber, in one of my last videos, you would have seen me get my Colour Blaster kit. So I am hoping to sit down at some point, either tonight or over the weekend, and have a crack at a layout that's in the instructional booklet that we get with the kit. So stay tuned for that. That will be another bonus video, probably up next week as well. But yeah, so I do hope you've enjoyed my DIY in